Okay, call the meeting to order. Shelby County Supervisors, this July 5th, 2022. Any conflict of interest? Gentlemen, anything on the agenda today?
None.
Okay, before I approve the agenda, we have on there the walkthrough for our county buildings. We did probably 2/3 of them the last meeting. We have a couple conflicts today, so we're going to postpone that. That will not be on there. Mark, plan on putting it on the next meeting. Okay. With that, do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion.
Motion by Charlie, second by Darren. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Chance to look over the June 30th, 2022 claims. Any questions on that?
None.
Not as big as it usually is.
No, except for the article.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Darren.
Second.
Second by Charlie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Chance to look over the minutes of June 21st. Any corrections or changes to that, Mark?
No, that was.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the 21st?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Darren, second by Charlie. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Supervisors report.
I have none.
You have anything?
No, I do not.
I have a couple. One, ambulance commission, we're meeting weekly on Thursdays, looking at a couple options. Things will be changing down the road. I don't know what that looks like yet. But Jordan's been spending a lot of time putting things together, and so appreciate all that. And see where it heads here down the road. Just a little update. I talked about we're working on ordinances. We have a pipeline ordinance, solar ordinance, a windmill ordinance, and my goal is on August 2nd, that's the first meeting in August, we will start with our carbon pipeline ordinance, if all possible. And then we'll follow up with the other two. If something happens to create a hiccup, then the other ones might move ahead. But all three in the next couple months, we will be looking to approve and get updated, revised. So just giving you a heads up there.
I did have one farmer told me they got a letter about windmills on his farm.
Oh, really?
Oh, seriously?
Okay. We've had, ins and outs, people over the years that I've been on, you and I have been on the board, windmills. One of the reasons, main reason that they're not here in our county yet is we don't have a main transmission line. It's not that we're trying to keep them out or anything like that. And we're also not out there trying to get them in here either. It's just that technology will have to change there probably for that ever to happen, but we still want to be prepared. That's why we're doing our ordinances and getting them updated. So with that, you guys have anything else?
No.
Okay. Next on the agenda, consider appointment of Ben Wagner as deputy sheriff. Anything on that?
It's just a routine
Okay.
approval like you usually do
Yep.
for existing deputies, first meeting of the year.
Okay.
Since he's a new employee, he needs appointed.
Okay.
Motion approved.
Motion by Charlie.
I guess if Neil says it's okay, I'm good with it.
Yeah. Second by Darren for Ben Wagner as a new deputy sheriff. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you. Next on the agenda, Todd Valine, Shelby County Chamber and Industry report. Morning, Todd.
Morning. Just want to start off with thanking all the folks this weekend who volunteered their time to put so many events off in Shelby County, whether it was the 150th up in Westphalia. Christina and her crew did a fantastic job of it. Prairie Rose had a ton of things for people to do all weekend up there. And then, ended last night with the Harlan fireworks to wrap up the 4th of July. So it was really a good weekend, good weather weekend, luckily. And like I said, just wanted to thank everybody who spent their time making sure everybody else had a good time this weekend.
I went to 4 parades in 2 days.
There you go. There you go. Just a couple of quick things. We had the opportunity last Friday. We hosted Jay Goodman again here in Shelby County. So he is the Iowa Gallivant. And so what he does is he comes in, we take him around to different businesses, attractions, restaurants. He shoots a video, takes pictures, posts it out on the Iowa Gallivant website. This his activity is all part of the larger Western Iowa tourism activity to show off Western Iowa. So this particular time, we took him to up to Marvin's Smith Collectibles in Portsmouth, and then had a great lunch at Victoria Station. Then we went up to Panama, went through transfer. Mark and Dean gave him a great tour of transfer and explained their history. Stopped off at Dean's Bent Rim to show that off, and then we ended the night at Norma's with a nice ribeye steak. So he'll start posting those videos today. He didn't want to post them over the weekend with everything else going on. And he's got about a little over 12 to 14,000 followers. He's got about 1 million views of his site. So it's always a positive to have him come through, and it just again helps us promote Shelby County overall and all the options and great things that we have here that, you know, sometimes people will catch those, and then the next thing we know, we got some good visitation around them. So,
Sounds like you got fat.
Actually between that and the normal 4th of July fair, I got a feeling for the next 2 weeks, I need to find myself back to Peterson's and try to get rid of what I put on. Just again, a reminder, I know I mentioned it last meeting too, but in 2 weeks from today, at 11:30 in the morning will be our all members meeting. So that'll be at Turkleton. Of course, not only are you invited, but all members of the chamber are invited to attend. And that's when we review the past year, talk about what we're going to attempt to get done in the next year, and you know, have a nice lunch together, do a little bit of networking, and then we'll also introduce our new board at that meeting. We will have one new board member this year. Outside of that, now it's just getting ready for the fair. So, you know, that's starting
Right around the corner, ain't it?
right around the corner. That'll start cranking up. So we'll start doing everything we can to help promote that, and working on a couple of other opportunities that we'll see what if we might get some chances this fall to get some things accomplished. So
That's not this weekend.
no, it's in a couple weeks, but.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but can you give a brief update of the new changes in the bottle bill? How that's gonna look, what that's gonna look like?
Well, what it says is that the stores that are selling the product don't have to take the cans and the bottles back anymore. They have increased the amount that the recycling center receives for every can that they process. It's still questionable, because even though it says, you know, the way they wrote it, it says, you know, you have to pretty much just take it to a recycling center now. It used to be based on a distance from the store. If there was a recycling center located within a certain distance of the store, then they named that as their official recycling center, and that's where you had to take it. So that's still kind of, because there's many places just like us that don't really have one. I mean, the closest one we have is Atlantic. And
Yeah, because I took it that the only way the local ones could opt out is if they had a place around
right,
to take it.
And that's the way it's supposed to be, but then also we have ones that, at least corporately right now, are refusing to take them, and they're basing it on medical reasons. They're basing it on COVID, saying that we're not going to handle those things from the public, because it's potentially going to spread COVID.
So the changes have passed, but
July 1st.
July 1st, they're in effect as of, so again, what we are doing locally, and we are still attempting to recruit either an individual or nonprofit organizations to operate a recycling center here in Shelby County. And if we can find anybody who's interested in helping us out with that, I've already talked to the stores, and they're willing to support those efforts by, you know, helping them out with costs and that type of thing.
what did you said they're gonna increase the fee, or the amount they get to keep, how much is it going to?
I believe it went up to 3 cents versus 1 cent per can. So, yeah, in the big picture, that sounds like a lot.
Mhm.
You know, we got a 300% increase in what we're getting.
still.
But if you do the math, you still gotta process a lot of 3-cent transactions to have enough money to actually operate a business.
That's true.
Especially with today's utility costs and everything else that are taking place. So that's why I have, you know, and they've been supportive. When we previously had a recycling facility here in Shelby County, the local stores were contributing to them to help them, you know, kind of bridge their costs. They just weren't able to continue to go. So, and they're willing to do that now for anybody who wants to start a recycling center. So, again, so what we are doing as the chamber is just trying to find somebody willing to do that.
So can the local store still opt out even though we don't have anything available here? Because that's what I thought the bill was supposed to enforce.
Well, the bill, the way the bill reads, the answer to your question is no. In reality, there's no enforcement of the bottle bill, statewide. Because it's supposed to be enforced by...
People are paying for it. I mean, they're paying their nickel. They should have a
understand.
place to go with
I
it.
understand that, but it's...
But you say the corporations are fighting as well, you're saying like Hy-Vee or the large...
Actually, it was
Because of
Fairway
COVID.
who put out the corporate statement in regards to, they just corporately stated, we're not taking recycling into our stores statewide.
Because of COVID, is their
That was
excuse.
their part.
But then anybody who collects them could say that,
Exactly.
you know? Yeah, I just,
And even though the bill was changed to increase the amount being paid out per item recycled, the enforcement didn't change, so it still falls under DNR. And
okay.
they just don't have the time, the personnel, or anything else to enforce this statewide. Now, if a citizen wants to, they can file a complaint with our local police department, and the local police department can pretty much just write a nuisance misdemeanor ticket to the store saying, you know, you're supposed to do that.
Okay. So it sounds like it really hasn't changed much.
No.
Other than what they're getting.
Well, no, I mean,
Because it's not on the store's responsibility, even though they collect the 5 cents, to not try to find a recyclable center?
no,
No skin in the game?
because in reality, the store only keeps that 5 cents for less than 24 hours. Then it ends up at the distributor. So if you're running a recycling center, you don't get paid by the stores, you get paid by the distributors. And what happens is the money that gets collected from the stores goes to the distributors.
Okay.
They sit on the money, then they come and collect your cans, and you have to contract with every individual distributor. And then that's why at the recycling center, they have to sort everything out. So each individual distributor comes and picks up their own cans. Then they, based on weight and also packaging, they know how many cans you've given them. And then in a week or two, you'll get a check in the mail for what their count was for those cans. So that's another problem with operating a recycling center, is you're putting your money out up front.
True.
And you're waiting for those distributors to send their checks back to you.
But distributors should almost be making money because there's
That's
a lot of them
correct.
cans go to recyclables.
Yes.
Well, they're making tons because
Yeah.
only half of those, less
If
than half.
you're looking for who's benefiting the
Yeah.
most out of this current situation, it is the distributors. Because
And they don't have to help find a recycling center
They
if the
should-
stores don't want to do
They
it.
should maybe reimburse the DNR for the total costs
they're
that they
just-
took in from the
again,
stores.
it's,
I know you didn't write it, I'm asking you.
no,
questions.
I mean,
It's just-
and I understand this was their attempt at, and the lobby to not eliminate it is stronger than the lobby to eliminate it. And on a personal level, I don't quite understand it because there are states around us that don't have recycling laws, and when you drive down their highways, you don't see their ditches full of beer cans.
Yeah, because when the law initially was put in, we didn't have recycling centers and all that too.
We didn't
Now
have
we do.
recycling centers, we didn't have, our sanitation departments didn't
Right.
pick up recycling and there wasn't such a program in place.
Right,
Now, these days,
okay,
all that's in place. So, and if anybody in the public has any interest whatsoever, and again, like I said, nonprofits, that might even want to share. I mean, one of the ideas I floated around is if I can get 2 or 3 nonprofits to operate the system, that way there's not a heavy workload burden on anyone, but yet they can split the proceeds 3 ways.
okay.
And you did look at concerns for the,
Yeah, unfortunately, they were told by their state health representative that their clientele cannot do
Understand.
that type of work.
understandable.
Okay.
I think that's what happened up at Dennis.
Thanks for the information on that, Jimmy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we'll keep working on it, and
Okay,
we'd love to get one in place. I think it would not
it
only
needs to be.
benefit the community, but I think it could benefit some nonprofits. And it's not just in regards to them working it. We also have nonprofits that count on people donating their cans to them to help them fund their efforts in what they're doing.
Right.
So it's kind of just
Okay.
all intertwined.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thanks, Todd.
Yep.
Next on the agenda, Resolution 2022-35, set the hearing for the 2023 budget amendment. Mark?
As I forewarned you three, there was
Last meeting.
at the last meeting, we have a budget amendment, and we're less than 5 days into this. I'll just read through the amounts and what the reasons are. The sheet I gave you today has additional items compared to last week.
Okay.
There's a transfer in the top one, and of course there's a corresponding transfer out from rural basic to environmental health. Their funds have dropped below 0, and so we need to get them some money to keep them afloat.
And I checked on that, and the money does come in later, it's just gonna be in the next
I know.
year. You
Yeah,
know,
it's,
what they get reimbursed from the state comes back so slow.
yes, that is correct. But just to, yeah, they can't sit there and operate at a negative balance. That's the income. The bond and the jail, and we talked about the jail the last time, is $2,340,000. The jail portion, I believe, was $45,000, so the rest is non-taxpayer money. It's not property taxes. The well grant, $25,000. That's environmental health output when they plug wells, and they've been doing more than normal, and so it wasn't budgeted for this last time. So that is reimbursed money that does come back.
The money's there, it's just they didn't have it in the budget.
Yes. Mental health, we need to refund them. We're gonna have some apportionments this year. And so next May, June, we will close out that account 100%. And I just put in $10,000. The amount's gonna be closer to like 3,000 or 4,000. But I just put in a nice even 10,000 to allow us to make that payment to zero out the fund next May. County environment and education, that is entirely conservation, planning on getting some credits, and
With the mitigation project.
hopefully they can spend them back, and that's not taxpayer money either. Government services to residents, that's the election. I underestimated by about $10,000. Ballot costs have just went through the roof. It was like $8,000 to program the machines and give us the ballots last time at the primary election. And I was only planning on 4 or 5, and it's went up that much. Health insurance, that's on the supervisor side. The health insurance, I kept raising it, and there's a supervisor now that's getting the insurance, and it wasn't planned on, and I missed that when I budgeted earlier this year. I left it the same. Traditionally, it doesn't change. It did. Then ARPA money, to spend it out, I put $1 million in there. So that in a nutshell is all the dollar amounts.
Okay.
So since you're showing that potential of the conservation service spending 330,000, shouldn't you also show it as income?
I could, but the state reporting isn't concerned with
Okay,
the income.
okay.
I could have, so the bottom line, but they don't care what you get or don't get.
Gotcha. They're worried about it. Okay, no problem.
When we set this hearing, and at the hearing, would you please have just a percentage breakdown of what percent of these increases?
Or property
Or property
taxes?
tax.
Sure,
Okay.
yep. But some of them, it gets tangled up, like the environmental health. If I put 25,000 down there for wells, it gets spent out in property tax,
Right.
but we get
Well,
reimbursed.
I mean anything that you know up at the hearing
That's
isn't
a-
getting reimbursed.
There you go, okay,
Whatever the increase
Yes.
is, that there's no income for,
perfect,
okay?
yep.
Okay, anything else?
No, that's
Any
it. This is
questions
just
for
to set the date of
What was your
August 5th. Or, no, wait, I'm sorry,
Second, ain't
August 2nd.
Yep,
Okay, do I have a motion to that?
motion.
Motion by Charlie, second by Darren. Any other questions or comments, Mark?
No.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried for August 2nd hearing for the budget amendment. Okay, thank you. Disposal of county cars. We have 2 vehicles. One was an Equinox over from Community Service that's now with Pot County in the Southwest Iowa Mental Health Region. And they had a car. The car is owned by us. The Equinox is owned. Harrison County owns 40%. Monona County owns 33%. Shelby County owns 27%. I thought we were 33%.
I wrote down the wrong numbers, sorry,
Switched
I'm
them?
sorry. Yep, Monona's 27.
Okay. Monona's 27%, we're 33%, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And we had a 4-county supervisors meeting last week. Those counties were there, and we actually opened up the bid. And the bid came in with Monona County at $25,007. So that will be distributed according to those percentages.
And what the system is, just to keep it transparent, they're gonna write us a check for the full amount
Okay?
because we bought it and then they reimbursed us.
Yeah.
So they're gonna write us a check for the full amount. I'll break it out by those percentages and send them a check back.
So we have a clean paper trail.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And then we asked you to send out a memo on the car to our departments to see if anybody was interested. Would you have any response?
Yeah, the secondary roads was interested.
Okay, so they the
That's
only
the
ones?
only one.
Okay. Do you have a bid or a number, what it's worth?
Basically, Kelly blue booked that model that year with that many miles, and 16,200 is what the value was.
Okay. That seems fair from what I looked at.
Yep.
So, you guys have any comments on that? So, and I think how many miles a car you use for meetings and
150.
transportation? Like what?
150 is what, or
150?
160 is what's on
This
there.
one has 30?
30.
Okay.
So what are you thinking? Let him have it, but charge his budget that amount? Is that?
Well, I think another paper trail, I think you should just pay the county for that, Brandon, and then we'll put it in capital. Okay?
Yeah.
That way you have a paper trail of
Just
it.
invoice us, Mark, however you'd like it to go, and we'll pay it out of equipment.
They what?
Just invoice us, we'll
Yeah,
pay it out
okay.
of equipment, and
I sent one down.
That way there's no question
Yep.
about it, as long as there's nobody else interested.
Will you be getting rid of anything now?
The car that I drive will go kind of into the meeting pool. We've got a couple pickups that we use for meetings, and one of them's ready to go at any time, so.
And if anybody else around the county needed one as an emergency or something, that
Right.
would have something there, either
It's up
car.
to us. Yep.
Okay. No, it'd serve a good purpose, so we'll just do one motion to approve the $25,007 Spinona County, which would be issuing a check, and then accept a bid from Secondary Roads for the car, some Malibu for $16,200.
Make that motion.
Motion by Charlie, second by Darren. Any other questions, comments? You have anything? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Secondary roads report, Brandon.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just a brief update today. Nice rain Sunday, so good moisture. All the blades should be out or are out today. Trying to cut washboards and get stuff kind of pulled back together here before it dries out too much. Been having some discussions with landowners, sending them letters, met a couple out on their private oils. Just what the expectations are to fix them. I think we're actually going to be tearing one of them up tomorrow, and there's a couple more that weren't sure what they were going to do. They were going to get a quote, and I think by the end of the week, I'll meet them out there again, or they'll just tell me what they'd like to do. And
So when you send the letter out, is there like a drop dead date?
yep, we send out, we get a complaint, review it. I like to call, most of the people that have oil, I have their phone number, so I'll call them. I won't just send them a letter and
Okay.
send them a letter. They have 14 days to submit a plan in writing to our office of what their plan is. If I don't get any response, we send them a second letter. They have 14 days, and at that time, then it's basically considered we tear it up.
I just want to make sure we're following through with that.
Yep,
Okay.
yep, we'll get that one tore up, and then there's a couple other ones that we're kind of waiting and seeing. There's a couple first letters out that,
Are those certified letters?
no,
They're not.
no, and we could send them certified. I haven't heard of anyone who says they haven't got
Well, if you're calling
first
them all,
letter. Yep, yeah, generally we talk to them before, we don't just go out there and tear it up.
Right, no.
We talk to them, when they know kind of what the expectations are.
approximately how many are left in the county grandfathered in? Approximately.
40.
Well, they're still at many.
Okay.
And 20 of those people take very good care of it, and you never
Yeah.
have to talk to them, and 10 of them you talk to quite often, so. Bridge crews on 1700th Street east of M56. That bridge needed a redecked, and it was too long, so we took a span off of it, put some sheet piling in, and then they're gonna redeck it here. They're working on that today. Rock in Denison in 1 to 2 weeks. So we'll keep hauling from there as they get it in there. Murphy Heavy Construction's actually in our yard right now. We had a pile of millings in there that were unusable. They just had too many big pieces in them, so they're processing those, and we're mixing them with 3/4 inch stone to do some shouldering with.
Oh,
When we mix it
Okay.
together, it binds really well, and then
Mhm.
we roll it in, and it stays a lot better than just rock. And they're gonna do some broken concrete. They're gonna size that about 1 inch down. I've heard a lot of spitballing that we put that on the road. We do not put any broken concrete on the road. It's all crushed limestone or gravel. That's just for bedding pipes, because they charge us about $8 a ton to process it, so it's a lot cheaper than road rock, and it works really well for.
It's not that much better. It's just that it's got stuff in it that you don't want, right, on the road?
The magnets do a really good job of taking the metal out. There's just
Just
several
not
reasons
everything.
why, yeah, we don't use the broken concrete as a surfacing, so.
when you talk about the shoulders, I did get another complaint on M16
Okay,
from 37 going north.
Okay.
You know, the homes are
oh, sure.
on the east side. And when you talk about the millings, that might be a good place there for it.
Okay. Now, we almost have to get those, but there's not much of a ditch there, so we have to, the water runs down the shoulder there, and
Yep.
to make it right, we have to go in there and ditch out the yards. And get the
Okay.
water to the
Well,
ditch.
just, yeah,
Yep,
just wanna
yep,
let you know
yep,
that.
got a note of it. And then, I know I've talked about the infrastructure money. We have to have a safety plan in place. I got an email at the end of last week. Actually, none of the counties have a safety plan that's sufficient for the feds to be submitted for grants. So they're kind of kicking around all the counties submitting a proposal together and having infrastructure money paid for all counties to have a safety plan. So that's still kind of in the infancies, but we're working towards it. I pulled it up. You could submit for a grant to get it done, but it's a lot to have all the counties band together and do it for every county. There's a lot of data that the DOT keeps on crashes and vehicle, exiting the roadway and animals and stuff like that. So I'll keep you guys up to date, but right now that's kind of where they're angling towards, and I'm on board with that just because there would be one grant for all the counties. It'd be a match, but I think they were talking it wouldn't be any dollars from the counties. They would figure out how to do it without us having to pay out of our budget.
So they want a safety plan that's 1,000 pages long, is that what they're asking for?
More extensive than what they've done in the past. I don't know what it looks like. It's really hard to read that
It's never less.
stuff. No, it's never less. And then I don't know what their expectations would be to act on the safety stuff. So I could be devil's advocate on it. I think it would be a good thing to get done, and then there's a lot of that infrastructure money there, and I think they plan on having grants for the foreseeable future, give you part of it, and then make you compete for the rest of it. The counties have been good at putting big packages together with a lot of counties, so they look pretty lucrative instead of just Shelby County. It's like those culverts we got done on Old 59. Those two wouldn't have gone by themselves, but there was 65 bridges and culverts that got done, and we were fortunate to get those two on there. So that's all I have for today.
Okay.
I noticed you submitted quite a range of corrections to the insurance. Did that get taken care of?
And
And did.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
I'm sure it doesn't affect our premium much, because it looked like there was about as much taken away as there was added.
Angel takes care of it here, and Ann takes care of it down there, and.
appreciate you getting it in a timely fashion.
No, Ann does a great job.
Yeah.
You could tell she went over it with a fine tooth comb.
Yeah, that was nothing to do with me. That was all
Okay.
her. So I appreciate everything she does.
Our insurance billing's kind of a live breathing thing.
It's
Oh,
constantly
it has to
moving.
keep
Yeah.
updated.
Right.
Sometimes we get refunds. It's just,
Yeah.
Okay.
And Brent does a good job getting reminders out to us
Yeah,
too.
yeah, he does.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks, Brent. This time, we're gonna take our recess, and we got a workshop we're going through with EMA. This time, do you have anything, Marcus, or anything?
I don't have anything.
Okay.
I can do a quick update. I don't know if you want to do, just as an EMA update, if you want to do
Okay.
that first
Yep.
and then do the recess or.
Yep.
Yep.
Good morning.
Morning. Just a quick update, let you guys know what's going on. So EMA wise, on July 21st at the Turkelson Center at 6 p.m., we're going to be doing incident command for elected officials and stakeholders. You guys are all invited to that. Any elected official or stakeholder.
At what time?
6 p.m.
At Turk?
At the Turkelson Center, yes. And we'll have some food provided. Should be about an hour to maybe hour 45 minutes. It's been a while since we've done it. I've been creating a presentation. It won't certify anybody in incident command, but it'll be a good informational briefing and at least give everybody a working knowledge of what incident command is. So we're working on that. And then also on August 18th, I believe it also at 6 p.m., but I will get the exact invitation out to everybody. The state is going to be hosting a tabletop for our economic recovery support function that we're going to have to start writing for the county. So the state, we have emergency support functions, which we have, and now they're going to require us to have recovery support functions. So I'm going to have to start writing those over the next 5 years. And we're going to have, we were one of the counties selected, I had to put in some information to do a tabletop to do an exercise to see how that process is going to go and give us an idea of how that plan should be written. That tabletop will be on August 18th, and that will also be at the Turkleson Center. They gave me some information and a generic invitation I'll be sending out to you all, the different cities, the Chamber of Commerce, some banks, large businesses like Essentia or Conductix or Smitty Bees and other places like that if they'd like to attend. And I'd like to get as much participation as we can, just because I need that. I'm going to need that if we have a disaster. I'm going to need their feedback and input in it. And we'll learn more about that as we go, because this is uncharted territory. Nobody in the state has ever had to write one of these plans before, so.
Oh, cool.
All these EMAs are going to have to put our heads together and figure out how to do this. So that's the EMA side. As far as 911 goes, we're still getting information on the state's new 5-year plan. They're wanting us, the big thing that they're pushing is training. They're going to standardize training and require 911 to have more standardized training and more extensive training, to have a more standardized call taking process. And we're going to have to jump on board with that. And then we're also they want us to get out, and the dispatchers to get out in the public more and do more public education on 911. So like your fairs, Kids Fest, stuff like that. They're going to be out more doing that. And then as far as EMS goes, Steve, you kind of touched on that, but I've tasked Jordan pretty much with EMS. He's been writing plans and pulling numbers and doing reports and helping the volunteers with all their EMS needs, and that's kind of our update as of now. And then, this just happened today with the rain that we had over the weekend. We noticed a spot. I'm gonna have to have somebody come look at the roof. We noticed a spot in our office.
In place that we saw last week?
Yeah, it was there, and then it got bigger. So
Okay.
I had Petchy come look at it. He said because it wasn't from the.
Okay,
We
it's
thought it
not
was
from
from
the
the
roof.
boiler. Well, we thought it was from the boiler because we had that boiler system that used to heat the garage,
Okay.
and he said it's not from that, it's from the roof. So
So you need to call Scott.
we're gonna have Scott Lining come look
Yeah,
at it.
they're saying some places could get up to 3 inches rain tonight.
Yeah, so I'm gonna call Scott today and have him come check the roof.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Is this the training that you said, this incident command, is that the one that you got people coming in from?
no, that's the
That-
one
what
you're
is
talking
that?
about is a different one. That's from Texas Tech. We signed up to have training on July. Jordan, help me
26th,
out.
27th, 28th, and 29th.
Yep, July 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th. We sent out flyers to all of Southwest Iowa for that. 2 of them, and Jordan, you signed up for those. Can you help me with the names of them? 2 are, it's a 2-day thyroid class.
Mitigation for
Yeah.
significant industries.
Yep. 2 of them are hazard identification. It's a 2-day class. And then critical infrastructure threat identification.
So do you have enough people coming now that
Not
you're
yet.
for sure having it? Okay.
I
Having
have
trouble
another
getting
10
people
days
signed
to
up.
get people
Okay.
signed up, so I'm gonna be pushing that hard this week. One has 15, so I need 9 more. The other one has 4, so I need
And
20 more.
what you're looking for as far as people to attend that are large businesses? is
It
that-
doesn't matter. Anyone can attend it. It's open to anyone. So anyone from
Would it be,
city officials, county officials,
okay.
anyone that would have skin in the game that relates to these classes.
We've sent it out to we have a region for EMAs. I sent it out to all the EMA coordinators, and they pushed it out to all their departments. We sent it out to the fire departments, all the cities, businesses, and we just haven't really gotten much.
But each day is different training, so,
They're 2 days, so there's a 2-day for thyroid and 2-day for critical
Okay,
incident. So
okay.
it's 2 trainings over 4
Gotcha.
days.
Okay. We'll go ahead and recess and begin our workshop. Thanks everybody for attending today.